owns a public movement? The students who lost years preparing for an examination? The young protesters who built it from the ground up? Or the politicians who arrived after the cameras did? The CJP movement began with a paper leak, but now it appears to be suffering from something equally dangerous, a credit leak. Every political party wants to support the movement now, every leader wants to speak for the students now, and somehow, amid all this support, the students themselves are slowly disappearing from the frame. Hello, you're watching No Cap with me, Megha Prasad. The Cockroach Janata Party movement became powerful because it did not look like a conventional political rally. Its young supporters had not been brought in party buses. They did not carry identical flags, wear centrally distributed caps, or repeat slogans prepared inside a political office. They arrived with their own anger, their own posters, and their own credibility. That independence was CJP's greatest strength. But the moment the movement became nationally visible, India's political parties discovered it. Not the examination crisis that had existed for a long time. They discovered the political value of the examination crisis. And that is where the support began turning into appropriation. Rahul Gandhi and several opposition leaders took the protest close to the Prime Minister's official residence. Congress leaders demanded accountability for the police action, a parliamentary debate and resignation extending beyond the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan to the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. Gandhi also appealed to the members of the public to join the protest. Congress, as the principal opposition party and in a democracy like ours, perhaps has all the right to demand for the minister and maybe the Prime Minister's resignation. But CJP must answer a basic question. Is that now its demand too? The original movement demanded the examination reforms, accountability for repeated failures, and the Education Minister's resignation. Then a political party entered the picture, and suddenly the demand travelled all the way to the Prime Minister's office. That may be a legitimate Congress position, but it is not automatically the position of every student standing at Jantar Mantar. A movement does not become stronger merely because its list of resignation becomes longer. Sometimes the issue grows. Sometimes it simply loses its focus. And Rahul Gandhi's protest immediately opened another battleground. Not between the government and the students, but between opposition parties themselves. Aam Aadmi Party leader Sanjay Singh alleged that Prime Minister Modi had effectively enabled Rahul Gandhi's demonstration outside his residence to weaken the CJP's agitation. Atishi called it a BJP Congress Jugalbandi, questioning why the government engaged quickly with Rahul Gandhi while CJP and Sonam Wangchuk had protested for weeks. The BJP then used those statements to accuse the CJP of functioning as a proxy of Aam Aadmi Party. And the CJP also entered the argument too. Instead of limiting itself to examination reform, it had to defend Rahul Gandhi, respond to Sanjay Singh, and clarify which political leader was genuinely supporting the movement. Just observe how far the conversation has travelled. Students originally asked, who is responsible for repeated examination failures? Political parties began asking, who is the real opposition? Aam Aadmi Party says Congress is weakening the CJP. Congress says it is standing with the students. The BJP says CJP is an proxy of Aam Aadmi Party, and CJP is trapped in the middle, behaving like a relationship counselor for parties that cannot stand one another. The students wanted an answer key. They received an opposition family dispute. The same competition for ownership then entered Parliament too. Opposition members disrupted proceedings, demanding a debate and Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation. The government said it was ready for a detailed discussion. Speaker Om Birla told protesting members to submit their notices and said time would not be a constraint for those wishing to speak. Pradhan also met the speaker as arrangements for a discussion were considered. That should have brought the focus back to the examination crisis. Instead, another political contest began here. Akhilesh Yadav objected that the BJP and Congress had been allowed to speak while the Samajwadi Party was being denied its opportunity. His frustration exposed the deeper tension within the opposition. Congress wants to lead the response, while its allies do not want to become the background artist in Rahul Gandhi's production. So, outside Parliament, parties were competing to stand closest to the protesters. Inside the Parliament, they were competing for speaking time. The paper had already leaked. Now, even the subject of the debate was leaking away. The issue was examination reform. The argument became visibility. The question was government's accountability for the students. The contest became political ownership. Congress wants to lead. Aam Aadmi wants to expose the Congress. The Samajwadi Party wants to share the microphone. And every political party wants to appear closest to the same young people who originally took to the streets because they had lost faith in all established political parties. Now, the political support is not a problem. Movements need elected representatives. Street pressure must eventually enter Parliament if it is to produce legislation, investigation, or policy changes. But elected representatives should carry the movement's demand into Parliament. They should not carry their rivalries back onto the movement stage. And this is where the CJP must accept responsibility. Before its Parliament march, CJP asked supporters to carry on the national flag and avoid political or organizational flags. But the organization had itself invited leaders across the political spectrum, including Rahul Gandhi and JP Nadda, to join and support the protest. So, essentially, the instruction was, leave your party flag outside, but bring your entire party agenda onto the stage. That was never going to remain politically neutral. Indian politicians do not visit a stage merely to sit quietly and listen. They arrive with a slogan, a constituency, a camera strategy, and a natural appetite for the microphone. CJP opened the door. Political parties did not even have to break it. And once that door was opened, CJP needed a clear rule book. Support the movement, raise its demand in the Parliament, provide legal and medical assistance, but do not rewrite its goals or its agenda. Do not convert examination reform into your election campaign, and do not treat a student platform as an audition for the position of the chief opposition leader. CJP's own negotiating strategy is also beginning to look uncertain. On Monday, its representatives went to JP Nadda's residence and submitted their demands. 2 days later, the organization rejected another invitation to the same location, insisting that the government should come to Jantar Mantar or meet at a neutral venue. Changing strategy is not necessarily wrong, but a serious movement must explain why its strategy has changed. Otherwise, firmness starts looking like improvisation and negotiation begin to resemble political theatre. CJP must now answer these three questions. What are its precise and non-negotiable demands? Who is authorized to speak on its behalf? And what role are established political parties allowed to play? Supporters, guests, negotiators, or co-owners? Because a movement cannot call itself independent while allowing every visiting politician to rewrite its headline. It cannot ban party flags while permitting party agendas. It cannot complain about political hijacking after inviting competing politicians onto its platform without setting any boundaries. The movement's independence is still its greatest asset. It is also the first thing this political stampede will destroy. Political parties do not always kill movements by opposing them. Sometimes they embrace them so tightly that the movement loses its own breath. Young people gave CJP a megaphone. CJP must not turn it into an open microphone for every politician searching for relevance. This movement began because an examination paper leaked. It is now threatened by a leak of focus, leadership, and credit. And its greatest danger may no longer be that the government refuses to hear it. Its greatest danger may be that so many politicians begin speaking on its behalf that nobody can hear the students anymore. Thanks for watching.